All right, what's going on, everybody? Happy or good evening, afternoon, I guess, if you're on the West Coast. This is possibly the last stream for a while, just kind of waiting around for traffic out of Boston to die down. Big travel day before Thanksgiving. So I'm going to do some streaming and have a bunch of stuff to talk about, including some of the things that will be on tomorrow's show. So welcome. I am once again live simultaneously, both on YouTube and on Twitch. And I am already being attacked for competing with different shows. I don't watch anything, so I have no clue when any show airs. Like, people are telling me I'm on with that the Young Turks are on. I've never, I didn't know what time they were on. So apologies in advance for everything I did wrong, and hopefully we can still talk about a bunch of different stuff. I am going to talk about Melania Trump brutally booed at an opioid summit, and we have the video, and I don't feel bad at all. I don't, and I'm going to explain to you why momentarily. I also want to look in more detail at this full weird dog press conference that Trump had, where everything about it was weird, and it's clear Trump doesn't know or know anything about or like dogs, and it's just all very, very strange. I also then have a bunch of clips of Tucker Carlson, where first he says something really weird, then he sort of tries to make up for it with a clarification. And then Fox Today had a guest on, Michael Blake, I believe his name is, who absolutely destroyed Tucker. And it really angered host Bill Hemmer. And we're going to have these videos. So a lot of different things to discuss here. And I'm looking forward to doing it with you. I will do my best to answer both super chats over on YouTube, as well as messages that come in with various Twitch Prime and Tier 1 through 3 subscriptions over on Twitch. And I should be able to keep up with everything these late afternoon, early evening streams. They don't tend to get super crazy, so I think we're going to have plenty of time to look at all of this stuff. For people asking, so on Sunday night, we did a contest between YouTube and Twitch viewers, where we had a coupon code YouTube50 over on YouTube. And then we didn't really have like a Twitch specific coupon code, and people were furious, and they said that this was me showing deference to YouTube or something like that. So I have created a new coupon code for my website. It's Twitch50. I'll talk about it a little bit later, but it's enabled, and we'll do a similar competition today. YouTube versus Twitch. YouTube50 is the YouTube coupon code. Twitch50 is the Twitch coupon code, and then we'll see if that does anything for us or not. Okay, let's get right into this. So Donald Trump has been getting booed at a lot of different places. He went to Game 5 of the Baseball World Series a few weeks ago, brutally booed. Went to a UFC event in New York City, Madison Square Garden, brutally booed. Then he went over to Alabama to a football game, did not get booed there, reportedly. And he finally found a friendly crowd. So in any case, Melania Trump booed in Baltimore. First Lady Melania Trump took her Be Best initiative. Now, let me briefly talk about Be Best, because this is already something. Please tell me in the chat whether I'm accurately understanding this. I was under the impression that when Melania Trump said "be best," it was a completely grammatically incorrect spur-of-the-moment thing that she said during an interview, where she was asked one of these throwaway questions like, what's your message to people? Or, you're against bullying. Like, what would you say? And she said, my message would be best. And she's not a native English speaker. And I think it was just like a grammatical mistake. But I guess they had to go with it, like when Trump tweeted Cobb Fefe and Sean Spicer said, oh, no, that has a meaning, and people who are there's like an in crowd that understands what that means. They had to go with it. I think that they're going with this Be Best thing merely to not admit that she just misspoke because English isn't her first language. But needless to say, First Lady Melania Trump took her Be Best initiative to Baltimore. She was met with a chorus of boos from attendees at a youth summit aimed at raising awareness about the nation's opioid crisis. The heckling lasted for about 1 minute. But the audience remained raucous, audibly speaking over her remarks throughout her brief speech to Be More Youth Summit. Undeterred, she pressed on. So let's take a look at the video. Oh, I have video, but I do see people saying that the Alabama students were threatened if they booed, they'd be banned from games or removed. I almost reported that, but then it came out that wasn't actually true. It seems that they said if they were it seemed it was more about harassing other students for their political views or something like that. But in any case, let's take a look at the video. Let's listen to what happened.
It is my pleasure to introduce to you the First Lady of the United States of America.
Ooh. Yeah, that is mostly booing. Oh dear. For people pointing out, you can simultaneously not feel bad, but recognize it's not her fault. And I see people in both the YouTube and Twitch chat saying it's not her fault. It's not. I mean, listen, it was her choice as far as we know to marry Donald Trump. And presumably she had some say in whether Trump would run for president. But no, it is not her fault. But let's not feel bad for people in, extreme positions of privilege. For something like this. Of course, if her father came down with an illness, we would all feel bad. I'm not saying that we would.
Listen. Okay. I got a question for you. Okay? If you have lost somebody you love or somebody you care about to an overdose, please stand up.
All right, well, let's skip ahead to when she talks.
Thank
Booing
you, Jim,
continues.
for the warm introduction and for inviting me to join you today for such
dear.
an important event centered on opioid awareness.
Wow.
I
Yeah, that's pretty brutal. And so, listen, here's the thing. She is a part of one of the most destructive presidencies that we've seen. And, she's not, these aren't physical attacks. Nobody is saying necessarily that she's a bad person, although, agreeing to be with Donald Trump certainly raises questions. But give me a break. What? I don't even understand why someone would say, hey, here's an idea. Let's get Melania Trump to speak about something. It just doesn't really make any sense to me. So, booing is people who are going to say it's impolite. Okay, maybe it is, but almost everything that Donald Trump has done is impolite and destructive and whatever. We're talking about adults, wealthy adults with full-time security and whatever. She got booed. She's an adult. I think that she can handle it. That's generally my view. I don't know if anybody has a different view. It seems on Twitch people are saying that the booing is fine, although it's not her fault. In other words, if she weren't Trump's wife, she wouldn't be getting booed more than likely. At the same time, if she weren't Trump's wife, I don't know that she speaks about opiates, but that's sort of another question altogether. Yeah, it seems most folks are saying that's their view on this. So there it is. Melania Trump booed brutally at an event. I'm not even going to cover this on tomorrow's show, which is our last show before Thanksgiving, just because, I think it's relatively predictable that this is exactly what would happen. Let me read a few super chats over on YouTube. Rapid Burrito says it makes sense to give this free YouTube money to progressive. Thanks, YouTube. Rapid Burrito again, last one, you're amazing, David. Thank you. Yeah, the free super chats, I guess, available still and for a couple more days to anyone with YouTube Premium. One other super chat, and it is from My Name, who says only take my free YouTube money. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Okay, let's get to the next thing. I talked on the show today a little bit about this. Oh, and thank you over on Twitch to Fat Man Shack for the Twitch Prime sub, and Gita Rabbit for 2 months in a row with Twitch Prime. I appreciate that. So Donald Trump he has not shown signs of being empathetic to anyone or anything that I've ever seen. His relationships to his kids are weird. He doesn't really seem to like Tiffany at all. And I guess he sort of is okay with Barron. I don't know. But in any case, everything is about Trump and everything around Trump is a prop. Like Melania is effectively a prop. Pence is a prop to appeal to evangelicals. It's all props around Donald Trump. The war criminals that he pardoned, now he wants them to campaign for Trump because he sees them as props, campaign props. So check out this very bizarre press conference with this dog. The dog is Conan. I guess Trump calls it Conan. And everything about his body language, the things he says, it's like he doesn't really understand what a dog is, it seems like. Let's take a listen.
Good morning. So this is Conan. Right now, probably the world's most famous dog. I don't think I have to use the word probably. And Conan is it's an incredible story. I learned a lot about this particular type of dog, and it's...
He mentions this particular type thing multiple times, but never mentions the type. He knows it's a type of dog. What type, though, he's not going to be able to tell us.
It's trained that if you open your mouths, you will be attacked. You want to be very, very careful. But Conan came over from the Middle East, just arrived with some of the great people from the Special Forces.
So remember, pay attention to that. The dog just arrived from the Middle East, okay?
That did the incredible it was a flawless attack. And al-Baghdadi.
Yeah, so the person in question died by suicide. Important to know.
He's gone, but that was a flawless attack, and I just met quite a few of them. And we just gave Conan a medal and a plaque.
Right.
And it's really...
Dogs love plaques.
And I actually think Conan knew exactly what was going on.
Oh.
But a dog that is very, very special. And we could maybe say, Mike, come on over. Maybe you want to say something about the type of dog.
Yeah, listen, I don't know a thing about dogs. Maybe somebody else could say something that has some semblance of coherence. So I guess no one's going to say anything, but Pence will touch the dog because Trump and Melania are just staring at it like it's not even human, or not like it's not even alive.
Going to put a muzzle on the dog, and I thought that was a good idea, but then it gets even more violent, John. So I had a choice. But
it's also kind of weird, like any dog, forget about dog owner, like I don't own a dog, but I know that, you don't want to stigmatize dogs as violent, and it's not the instinct of dogs to be violent. Some dogs are trained in a particular way, including to deal with situations where there is violence. But even like the weird joking about how violent and vicious this dog is weird.
No, the dog is incredible. Actually incredible. We spent some good time with it. And so brilliant, so smart.
Genius.
The way
it actually does better. It reads and does math much better than Trump.
Was with the Special Forces people that it works with, and for obvious reasons, they can't be out in front of the media. But they did a fantastic job. Conan did a fantastic job. And we're very honored to have Conan here and to have given Conan a certificate and an award that we're going to put up in the White House. Mike, would you have something to say?
This is the second time, by the way, that he's asked Mike to say something. And the first time no one said anything. I don't know if the handler is Mike or he was referring to Mike Pence, but this is the second time he's called for Mike to say something.
It's great to be here, Mr. President. I know you just finished a meeting with some of the very same special forces who completed the successful raid that took down the leader of ISIS. But I recall, Mr. President, when you made the decision right up there in the White House. The day before the raid, you had talked about measures that were available to protect our soldiers. And it had been described to us about the fact that they had dogs that could go in the event that al-Baghdadi had on him an explosive vest.
Right.
That you put the premium on the safety of our special forces. And this dog was there, suffered some injury. We were able to complete the raid without any American casualty, and so I think...
Which is all we care about, apparently.
Having the Special Forces here today, who obviously can't come out in the public, but also having this extraordinary dog here today is all a reflection of our armed forces.
Yeah, so two things that a lot of people in both the YouTube chat and the Twitch chat are saying. Number one, Trump is obviously not listening to what Mike Pence is saying. And number two, Trump is doing this weird thing where he stands... We'll talk about the standing in a bit, but he's doing a particular thing, yeah.
Job that they do, but Conan is really a hero. It's a real joy to be able to help welcome him here to the White House with you.
It's true, and Conan was very badly hurt, as you know, and they thought maybe was not going to recover. Recovered actually very quickly, and has since gone on very important raids. As you know, we captured 100% of the ISIS caliphate.
Could that be true, that since the al-Baghdadi raid, the dog was injured, recovered, and has since been on multiple raids? Hasn't it only been like 3 weeks? And hasn't the dog also been in Washington for like 10 days?
When I took office, we had almost nothing. It was as though they were just forming again, and now it's 100%. And we have done a lot of work since then. We have done a lot of work since the raid. Certain things have happened that are very important. So we're in very good shape. We're in very good shape. We've had a lot of help too from other countries.
Yeah.
We've really done a job. I just want to thank you all. So this is a special time for Conan, and we really appreciated it. I was told about the breed. I was told about Conan.
Again, he it's a type of dog, it's a breed of dog, but we don't know what it is.
Himself, and Conan is a tough cookie, and nobody's going to mess with Conan. I asked one question. I said, so what chance with Conan? I got to see how fast Conan can move. I said, what chance would a strong man have? Really strong, tough fighter. What chance would this person have against Conan without the guns? What chance? And I guess the answer pretty much was none. He would have no chance.
Right.
So it's amazing. And yet you see how beautiful and how calm during a situation like this is.
Trump just earlier said that if they merely put a muzzle on the dog, it becomes vicious. But then now he's talking about how calm the dog is.
And you're very lucky he's not in a bad mood today, Jeff. Not in a bad mood. You're safe. Anyway, so I want to thank you all. Thank you very much. And this is a great honor to have Conan here. A great honor to have the Special Forces here. They're
Do you want to adopt the dog, Mr. President? Conan retiring?
I love this dog. No, Conan's not retiring yet. Conan's prime time, age-wise, prime time. I asked that question. They go for about 6 years. Like
they go for
an athlete. 6 years. They start. They like to get them at 1.5 or 2 years old, and they'll go for about 6 years from that time. After that, it happens where maybe the reflexes aren't quite as good. You know, things like that happen.
Trump knows about
to
that.
us. But the dog prime time is those 6 years after 2. And they're very special dogs. They're very hard to get. This particular dog is, this is the ultimate.
Again, third time he's alluding to this particular type of dog and nobody knows. He doesn't know what it is. Whoop. Oh, whoa, what just happened?
Ultimate everything. Ultimate in terms of sniffing drugs. We've spent a tremendous amount of money on drug equipment at the border.
Yeah. So listen, he just told us the dog's been working in the Middle East for a long time, and now he says this is a great dog for sniffing drugs at the border. Like, what is he talking about?
And I was talking to the people. I say, well, is there anything better than this equipment? No, sir. The only thing better is a dog. A dog, this type of dog, exactly.
Exactly this type of dog, which for the fourth time I'm unable to identify.
Dog. And it's pretty amazing, but they are really better. We had a case where we had drugs in the cylinder of a car, and it was undetectable by...
All right, so it's very, very weird. I think we've probably seen enough. So let me talk now about the Trump standing thing, because a lot of people have pointed this out. Yeah, let me find an example of this. I think I've got it here. A bunch of people have pointed out to me that Trump stands in a really weird way that sort of seems to defy what we sort of know of as the physics of bipedal locomotion, which is this right here. It's I don't believe that this has been edited, but it is very odd. And I guess you can't see the full thing. Let me see if I can zoom it out a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Like there is something strange about the way that he's standing there, and it does. You would imagine that maybe there was some kind of rope underneath his armpits that was holding him from falling forward or something like that. It is a really, really weird thing. I don't know what people can make of that. But it is, I guess he was sort of doing it, you know, from the front you often can't tell, but it is a very weird thing. And it does seem to like the bottom part of his leg seems to be concave. I don't even know if that's the right word. And then I think people understand what's going on. It's not obvious often looking from the front, but yeah, here he's sort of doing it again. It does seem like he's leaning forward in a very particular way. It's happening here, although maybe here he's kind of leaning on Justin Trudeau. Unclear about that. Yeah, by the way, Justin Trudeau, as far as we know, is 6'2". Trump claims to be 6'3", and that does not seem to be the truth. So really weird. Yeah, really weird stuff, but most notable in this one, and it's all very, very strange. Okay, let me say some thank yous, because I do see people who have been signing up over on Twitch Prime and so on and so forth. Let me say thank you to Bry Clutches for subscribing for 4 months at Tier 1. Thank you. Slingblade999, thanks for the Twitch Prime sub. Over on YouTube, a few super chats have come in. Let me see here. Don't want to miss anything. And we got very, very involved there in some of these images. Paul Jacoby says, so he can't think of the breed name. Yeah, apparently Trump doesn't know what kind of dog that is. I believe it's a Belgian Malinois, right? I'm not a dog expert. Paul Jacoby also saying his United States dementia mouth again. I didn't notice that during that speech, actually, Paul. But certainly no shortage of instances of that. Okay, and let me also say thank you to Jabin Allen. Jabin Allen has signed up using the Twitch 50 coupon code. That is new member number 1 of 15, but that also puts Twitch in the lead 1-0. So, okay, here's what's going on. People are asking, what is this Twitch versus YouTube thing? So we're live on both Twitch and YouTube right now. Last Sunday, we did a contest between the Twitch viewers and the YouTube viewers, where YouTube viewers were directed to sign up with YouTube has the coupon code YouTube50 on my website, joinpacman.com, saves you 50%. Twitch has the coupon code now Twitch50, which we didn't have last week. We had a generic one last week. And Sunday, YouTube won. I think it was like 11-1 over Twitch. It was a really bad. It was not good. It was really, really not good. And a lot of people said, the problem, David, is you didn't really have a Twitch code. You sort of like gave us this BS code that was already in existence, and it doesn't feel like you care about Twitch. So we actually today have a code, which is Twitch50. So right now, Twitch is actually in the lead 1-0. Either way, if we get to 15 new members, I'll open the phone lines, and we had some great calls. In fact, there were 2 calls from last Sunday, that we are turning into YouTube clips, which we'll publish over the Thanksgiving break because they were very, very interesting. Okay, let's go on to the next thing. Let's talk about Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson is a Fox News host. He has previously said things like immigrants make our country dirtier and white supremacy is a hoax. Okay. So he said, I guess this was on last night's show, that he is rooting for Russia against Ukraine. What that means is weird, but let's listen to it and see if we can figure out what it is that he meant.
Biden didn't. I know Hunter Biden. I actually like Hunter Biden, but that's totally corrupt, and you know it. Why is it worse to ask about it than it is to do it?
Because people are dying on the front lines. You think it's a joke?
Why do I care? Why do I care what's going on in the conflict between Ukraine and Russia? And I'm serious. Why do I care? I'll tell you why. And why shouldn't I root for Russia, which I am?
Because those of us who are watching, myself, who think preserving democracy is important. When Dick Cheney...
So then he went to break, and then I guess the feedback started coming in that, it doesn't really sound too good for you to say that you are supporting Russia over Ukraine. So then at the close of the show, I guess after he checked in with Trace Gallagher, he kind of clarifies that I guess that was a joke, even though he said I'm serious right before it.
Trace Gallagher, the great Trace Gallagher, thank you. Yep. We're out of time now. Before we go, earlier in the show, I noted that I was rooting for Russia in the contest between Russia and Ukraine. And of course, I'm joking. I'm only rooting for America. Right. Mocking the... Trace.
So there it is. So anyway, so that was weird to begin with. Then today, Fox invites, what was this guy's name? Michael Blake, I believe this is, who's the DNC vice chair and also a New York State assemblyman. And the question is, here's what Tucker Carlson said. What do you think? So Michael Blake goes right after Tucker Carlson, and the host Bill Hemmer doesn't like it, and it gets beautifully awkward and tense. Check this out.
Obama, let's be honest, is one of the only people who could unite the party's warring factions.
Tucker Carlson with a bold prediction saying Michelle Obama just may be the Democratic ticket next year, despite the former First Lady saying she's not interested. Michael Blake, Vice Chair of the DNC and a New York State Assemblyman. How you doing, Mike? Nice to see you, sir. What do you think of the prediction on Michelle Obama? Would you like to see that?
Well, she's not running, but the core question is, why the hell does Tucker Carlson still have a job here in the first place? The reality is this is someone who said white supremacy is a hoax.
Right.
And why does Fox allow him to still be here in the first place?
All right. Well, I mean, his opinion there is that Michelle Obama may get in this race. Do you think that will happen, or
It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. But I think the core question is he shouldn't be on here at all.
I get it. We didn't bring you on to talk about Tucker Carlson.
You kind of did. I mean, you played a video. You played a video of what Tucker Carlson said and said, "Excuse me, please respond to this." It's sort of like if I went on a show and they played a video of Richard Spencer commenting about what type of apple he likes, I probably wouldn't just respond about the apple. I'd point out, this is one of the most toxic white nationalists in the country who has bamboozled a lot of people with his sort of, elegant white nationalism and package. I wouldn't just say, well, I like, here's the type of apple that I like, and I don't agree. So this is instance number one. And again, Bill Hemmer says, I didn't bring you on to talk about Tucker. You kind of did. You brought me on to respond to a clip of Tucker Carlson. I just didn't respond to it in the way that you wanted. So then it gets even better. Where it tries to go on. He tries to go on to other topics. And again, Michael Blake talks about Tucker Carlson.
We're talking about jobs while Trump is ignoring the truth. We're talking about health care while he's ignoring the truth. And the question must be for Donald Trump, for Fox News, for other entities.
Listen, I didn't bring you on to bash our network. So with all due respect, why don't we just keep it on topic?
But it's not.
Politico magazine says this, Michael.
Relevant.
Just out. No, it's not.
Well, the Tucker Carlson premise.
It is not relevant to the conversation we're having. Save it for later. Politico magazine, it says.
Later when? Twitter, maybe?
Waiting for Obama. Here's the quote out just a moment ago. With one candidate, he, meaning Barack Obama, pointed out that during his own 2008 campaign, he had an intimate bond with the electorate, especially in Iowa, that he no longer has. Then he added, and you know who really doesn't have it? Joe Biden. End quote there. Your reaction to that?
So, first, it's not appropriate just to say that we can't talk about what we should say. You brought us on to be a guest. Second, the question around the electorate and an effort. One of the reasons you brought me on is that I was a part of the team that organized a successful election in 2008 and thereafter. So when it comes to the coalitions, yes, everyone should be talking about mobilizing coalitions. Black, white, Latino, Native American, Asian, etc. Not just Joe Biden, but all the candidates in the field. We are talking about uniting of races as others are talking about dividing of races. And so it is always appropriate to bring up these issues. It's one of the reasons you brought me on.
I get it. The comment was, you know who really doesn't have it? Joe Biden. Do you agree with that quote?
No, because the reality is if we take things just out of context rather than broader conversations, all these candidates are in the field. Even you look at the Fox News polls last week, they're defeating Donald Trump. So it's hard to say that someone doesn't have it if they're clearly winning in the battleground states.
You know, I see in these polls that it appears that a lot of
It seems like at this point he doesn't go back to attacking Fox News. But so here's one of the things you have to understand. That was really good. And I'll play some clips of that on the broadcast show tomorrow. And I see the super chats coming in. I am going to get to those, and I'm going to get to the Twitch Prime thank yous as well. There's this sort of unspoken thing when you go on certain networks. I mean, really, what are propaganda networks, right? Where when you go on Fox News and you're from the left, you can attack the guest, you can go after the president, you can do, right? You're doing that stuff because you're playing the role of the leftist. But if you attack hosts or you go after the place that Fox News has in the propaganda sphere, you're breaking the unwritten rule. And it's very interesting because nobody has ever, that I know of, I've been a guest on Fox News and I know many people who have. I'm not aware of anyone who's been told you can't attack the network. But when people have done it, they've never been invited back. It's a similar thing on RT, the Russian television channel, where you can get invited on. You can be from the left, you can be from the right. You can talk about propaganda in some vague way or whatever. But if you go on and you actually attack RT, you're breaking that unwritten rule, which is you're not supposed to do that. You're not, and you're not, as far as I know, invited back. I don't know if it's the same thing like on Al Jazeera, for example. But it's sort of an unspoken thing that is a very common. You're just not supposed to do it. Go after whatever, but you're not supposed to do that. And clearly, Michael Blake doing a hell of a job here. People who are saying in the chat, who cares? It was worth it. I completely agree with you. Who cares? Not invited back on. For the Twitch Prime subscription, and Sansumer1 for the second month in a row Twitch Prime subscription. If you have questions for me, by all means, send them, for example, via YouTube Super Chat. One example is StrongMoon1, who says, what is Obama's last name? I mean, I don't know if this is some trick, but as far as I know, it's Obama. JC sent a message, but then retracted it. Wonder what that's about. Ars Longa says, yes, it is a Belgian Malinois. Yeah, we were talking about, not this. We were talking about this dog, and apparently it is a Belgian Malinois. Very nice dog. Another super chat from Fifth Caliber, who sends a $20 super chat and says, you are amazing. Thank you. I appreciate that very, very much. Let me also say thanks to Craig Fures. Craig Fures has signed up on joinpacman.com using the coupon code YouTube50. We've got a tie. It's a very weak tie. It's 1-to-1 between the YouTube coupon code and the Twitch coupon code. We are live on both YouTube and Twitch, and we have the coupon code YouTube50 on my website for YouTube viewers, and the coupon code Twitch50 over on Twitch. And last Sunday, Twitch got defeated like 10-1 or something like that. It's 1-1 right now. People are asking, are we going to open the phone lines? And we may if we get to 15 new members. But it would be nice to have more of a battle between Twitch and YouTube than the very lopsided situation that we had the other day. Okay, so those are a few things. Let me pull up. I had a few other things I wanted to go over with you before things get too out of hand. Let me find. A lot of my things have moved around here. Okay, let me just pull up my notes. So many things. And by the way, if people also have things that they want me to discuss or videos to go over, I'm glad to do that. I should have been better prepared here. Oh, okay, the Michael Bloomberg ads, yeah. So I got a bunch of messages saying, David, you've got to look at Michael Bloomberg's ads and also Michael Bloomberg's speeches because each is more boring than the last one. So let's see what we can find. Michael Bloomberg. First, let's do a speech. I guess these were recent ones where it was just like terrible. Yeah, this is the one right here. Like the most uninspiring possible thing is what I heard. Let's see.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be here in Norfolk.
It seems to be coming out only. I'm only hearing out of the left ear, but that seems to be an issue that is beyond my control.
And let me start by saying I was glad to support Nancy's campaign for the House of Delegates. She is going to be a strong leader on the big issues facing this community and the whole state, including climate change. And I'm happy to also say that I supported 14 other Virginia Democrats who also won election, thanks to the good work of so many volunteers and supporters who knocked on doors and made phone calls and got votes.
He seems to have a Boston accent. Is Michael Bloomberg from Boston? Let's see. Michael Bloomberg. Brighton, Massachusetts. Okay, I didn't realize that. That took me by surprise. All right, let's continue. I know that we're only getting audio out of one ear. It's the video. It's not anything I'm doing.
Voters to the polls. And in January, Democrats will take charge of the state government for the first time in 25 years. It's about time. In 2018, I also supported two congressional candidates here in Virginia who won, Jennifer Wexton and Elaine Loria, who represents this part of the area and the surrounding place. Their strong campaigns helped the Democrats capture the U.S. House of Representatives and began holding President Trump accountable for his dangerous abuse of power. And I think that's one of the good news.
Yeah, pretty uninspiring so far. Let's skip ahead a little bit.
We have a climate change that is growing worse by the day. And we have special interests that corrupt Washington and block progress on all of these issues. As a child and a Boy Scout, I was taught to believe in the promise and potential of America, and I've never been more worried about its future than I am today.
Yikes.
America is at its best when we work together to find meaningful and lasting solutions to our big challenges. We need a president who understands that truth and who can do it rather than just make promises.
Yeah, I don't know who would see this and go, you know what? There's nobody already in the field that, however many people are officially running, there's just nobody that I could imagine voting for. But now that Mike Bloomberg's running, he's really inspired. I mean, it's a total lack of charisma. Let's skip ahead a little more.
Someone with the experience to hit the ground, ready to go. I am that person, and that's why I'm running.
Ooh.
I will be the only candidate in this race who isn't going to take a penny from anyone and will work for $1 a year, just as I did for 12 years in New York City Hall. Over the course of this campaign, I will tell you what I'll do as president and how I will do it.
Yeah, but not tonight. Okay. Yeah, this is pretty bad. This is really pretty uninspiring. Let's check out his ad and see. I'm not actually seeing any new ads from Michael Bloomberg here. Rebuild America. Okay, here's one. Let's take a look at it.
Mike Bloomberg started as a middle-class kid who had to work his way through college, then built a business from a single room to a global entity, creating tens of thousands of good-paying jobs along the way. He could have stopped there. But when New York suffered the terrible tragedy of 9/11, he took charge, becoming a 3-term mayor who brought a city back from the ashes and brought back jobs and hope with it, creating tens of thousands of affordable housing units so families could have a decent place to live, raising teachers' salaries and kids' graduation rates.
Man, even the ad, there's something uninspiring about it. I don't know. So here's what I think is really behind what's going on here. If you look at like Elizabeth Warren's wealth tax, and you can actually click, if you're Michael Bloomberg, click here. He would owe over $3 billion next year under Elizabeth Warren's wealth tax. Now, I've said I don't think her wealth tax passes. Certainly not as conceived right now, but there's a lot of reason to believe that even if he has to invest $1 billion of his own money to prevent Bernie or Warren from winning, it might actually be, you know, a reasonable investment for him to make just because of what is potentially at stake. And you know, Bloomberg really has a lot of money. Like Trump has a lot of money, and we don't know. He claims, I think, to have 3 or 4 billion. It could be less. I don't know. But Bloomberg has, 20 times the money that Donald Trump has. And I think that just this exposes a lot of what's going on, because he's got no shot at winning. And if he spent, 50 million, 100 million, $1 billion of his own money to help the Democratic nominee win, that would do way more to defeat Trump than Bloomberg trying to be the nominee. I just don't see it. It doesn't make sense to me at all. And this could explain a lot of it. Let me say thank you to Dinosaurkle for subscribing for the 4th month in a row on Twitch. Spirit14, thank you for the subscription. Nix the Ladder, thank you. Sansumer, thank you for the 2nd month in a row. And thanks to March Road for subscribing with Twitch Prime. Over on YouTube, if people have questions, by all means, send me a super chat. Trinity Jones asking, am I free for a date? I'm not, Trinity. I'm not. I apologize for that. Ben I says, did you see that Tulsi is on Joe Rogan again today? I did not. I did not see that, but I appreciate you letting me know. Addie D says, if Bernie is elected, how long to make Medicare for all a reality? Oh boy, do I really want to do this right now? So here's the thing. Man, this is just when a presidential candidate outlines their platform, it's a set of ideas, and a lot of the things are not going to become policy as proposed, and that doesn't mean that they're bad ideas, and it doesn't mean that the person proposing the ideas is a bad person or is dishonest. But when you look at something like Medicare for all, in all likelihood, the next president will not have a Democratic Senate after 2020. It's possible. Got to flip about 5 seats, and some of them are tough ones to flip. Maybe could get one in 2022. And a lot of the Democrats that would have to go along with Medicare for all don't support Medicare for all. Now, this is not my view. This is just the reality. So to your question of if Bernie is elected, how long to make Medicare for all a reality, I don't think it's going to happen as proposed. I think it's going to be a starting point, and I think it's worth having it as the starting point. And I support it, but I think that we end up in the best case during the next term, if we get a Democratic president and you get the Senate, you get a negotiation that pulls us to the left. But I don't, the political practice, I don't want to, I know people will say, oh, David, you're just wrong. You're being defeatist. This is how politics works, right? You don't just get everything you propose, and Medicare for All is a really big thing. There will be a lot of forces that have power acting against it, and it's going to be, it's going to be a fight. So I don't have an answer for you, unfortunately. Rock Lee says, donate to Steve Cox for Senate versus Mitch McConnell. Now, what about Amy McGrath, or is Steve Cox a Republican challenger? Because Amy McGrath is ditch Mitch McConnell, independent. Okay. Yeah, I don't know anything about this guy, but that's interesting. I'll check that out. Let's see what other super chats there are. Joey B says in Spanish, gracias por todo. Thank you. I appreciate that. And Madison 2019 says, do you believe Fox News and conservative networks brainwash people? I don't know if it's a literal brainwashing, but they certainly prey on people who lack the critical thinking skills to independently sort of analyze or think about what it is that's being presented to them. No question about that whatsoever. John Harris says Bloomberg / Yang. I don't know if that's a joke, but I don't think that's going to happen. Ryan Nowicki says via Super Chat, Supreme Court recently said they want to revive non-delegation doctrine relating to future regulations in a way which gives them some veto powers. What are your thoughts? Have not looked into it and would not want to comment until I have an informed opinion. L. May W. Tree says free super chats Lego. Luisimo says, I thought Bloomberg would be more frisky. Don't know what you mean by that. Ars Longa says, please do a show on RT. I used to appear on RT and I stopped, and I don't think I would at this point, and they don't invite me anyway, so I don't think it's going to happen. How do we get out of this two-party system? Renholder 57 asks. Well, one of the things we have to do is we need a system that won't punish voters if they vote third party by making it more likely that the person they really don't like becomes president. And unfortunately, the spoiler effect is a very, very real thing right now. Fav1 says, will Trump be impeached and removed? Will he resign before that happens, or will he make it to 2020? I believe Trump makes it to the 2020 election. And I don't know if he wins re-election, but I believe that Trump definitely makes it to the 2020 election. The Hemp Hog Chronic says, wow, you're going to skip over my free money super chat, eh? I didn't see it. I apologize. Russell Jones says, do you think it would be smart for Buttigieg to name a woman of color as vice president early on to make inroads? I don't know what it would be smart for Buttigieg to do, and I shouldn't advise him because he's doing something right, and I don't understand what it is. Let's look at some recent polling. By the way, a lot of people asking in the chat, who's winning Twitch versus YouTube right now? It's still 1-1. It's very, very slow. So I'll keep you posted on that if anything else happens. So there's a recent poll which has Buttigieg at 16. And that's the little pop that you see down here, which gets Buttigieg up to almost 10% nationally. I find Pete Buttigieg to be one of the most boring flavors of centrism that exists in the Democratic Party. And I really hope that this does not go the distance. But look, I mean, if we look at Iowa, Buttigieg is well ahead in Iowa, if the last three polls can be believed. If you look at New Hampshire, Buttigieg is either right in there, as you can see here, or leading, according to the St. Anselm poll from a few days ago. Nevada, I think he's doing nothing. Nevada, yeah, so he's got no shot in Nevada right now, but of course, if he wins the first two, who knows what will happen there. And then South Carolina, he has even less of a chance. And he doesn't seem to be doing well with black voters. I don't believe the reason is that black voters are homophobic. I'm trying to remember who said that to me. I appeared on some show, And the person said, oh, the reason Buttigieg isn't doing well with black voters is because they're homophobic. I don't remember where that was. But in any case, Pete Buttigieg is doing something right. And, one of the things is he certainly is being helped by establishment media. MSNBC giving Pete Buttigieg much more screen time than you would expect on the basis of how he was polling then. And I think it's bad. I'm not a Mayor Pete guy, and I have some friends who are, and I don't think it's a good thing. Let me say thank you to MK Matzo, who has subscribed over on Twitch with Twitch Prime. The Funds one has subscribed for 4 months in a row and says, thank you for providing a progressive platform. Feel free to include questions in your Twitch Prime subscriptions because I'm getting them from YouTube via Super Chat, and I'm glad to grab some from Twitch as well, but I appreciate that. Sam, that's right. It's so funny. People in the chat know more about what's been said on my show. Mojo86 says it was Sam Harris who said that on your show. That's right. Somehow we got into this, Sam Harris and I, and he said, I believe Pete Buttigieg is not doing well with black voters because they're homophobic. And I don't believe that is the case. Yeah. Thank you for pointing that out. Let me see. There's a few other messages I wanted to get to here. Dreadlocks says, if the goal of impeachment is to damage Trump's reelection, do you think they're moving too fast? Eventually they have to take it to the Senate where it'll die. Listen, I mean, the question is, we don't know if there's going to be more hearings. I think there should be. Trump's attorney, Don McGahn, now has been told he has to testify. He can still show up and invoke executive privilege to every question, but I think that there should be more testimony. And if that's the case, the answer will be no, they're not actually moving too fast, but it remains to be seen. The Hemp Hog Chronic says, what would you think about Nina Turner for Bernie's vice presidential pick? My Republican friends say Tulsi would be the best. Who would you like to see? I'm not even going to get into VP yet. I have no opinion about Nina Turner. I am not a fan of Tulsi, so I don't know that that's what I want to see happen. Sid Beretta says via Super Chat, Mayo Pete makes me physically nauseous. Any thoughts on the Bibi indictment? That's on yesterday's show. Also, did your take on the Bolivian coup result in major backlash? It resulted in major backlash, mostly from people who were not already in my audience, to tell you the truth. I addressed this. Actually, let me preview something for you guys. I think you might enjoy this. Let me see if I can find this a way that's efficient. I got a call. We recorded calls early this week because we're going to be on break for vacation. I got a call today confronting me about Bolivia and putting in front of me the position of Secular Talk's Kyle Kulinski. And I imploded under pressure. No, not really, but I'll play the call for you. This happened earlier today, and it won't be published for a while. But why not? Let's take a look at it. If this works. Let's see here. Here we go. Let's go next to our caller from the 803 area code. Who is calling today from 803? So this was earlier today, but it will not air for a while. I'm just showing it to you today.
Hello, David.
Hi, who's this?
My name is Ian, and I watched two of your videos about Bolivia and Venezuela, and I see that you criticize what you call the Leninist left, and I've watched both you and Secular Talk, and you seem to have different views about U.S. intervention there, although you definitely don't take the position of the neocons. So my question is, what are your thoughts on historical cases like the U.S. intervention in Chile in 1973? Others.
Yeah, I'm against U.S. intervention in Latin America. So what I don't watch any other shows. So what my position is, I'm against U.S. intervention in Bolivia and Venezuela. What's Kyle's position?
He's much more in defense of the Venezuelan and Bolivian government, although he does have some very strong criticism of Nicolas Maduro.
Oh, so he's against U.S. intervention there, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So am I.
All right. Do you think that Evo Morales was a dictator?
No, dictator is not the right word, but he certainly was not. He's not the strongest advocate for democracy that Latin America has seen. Let's put it that way.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate the phone call. All right, so there it is. I think that is where we can maybe leave the Bolivia stuff at this point in time. Thanks to Lord Jabberwock for subscribing with Twitch Prime, and thanks to Czar Kershevsky for subscribing with Twitch Prime as well. Questions pouring in over on YouTube. Tyler Shank asking, candidates you think will drop before Iowa votes? Well, I'll tell you who I think should drop. Let's look at the list. Let's see here. So I don't even know if all these people are still running. Sestak, gotta go. He has no role in this. Bullock, time to go. Delaney should get out. I thought he was out. Bennett should get out. Steyer never should have gotten in. He should absolutely be out. Julian Castro probably should get out. Cory Booker probably should get out. Tulsi Gabbard probably should get out, and Amy Klobuchar should get out. I doubt Klobuchar and Gabbard will get out. I wouldn't be surprised if everyone from Booker down gets out before the first votes. But Klobuchar and Gabbard, Klobuchar was propped up with more speaking time than her polling suggests she should get during the MSNBC debate. It seems Klobuchar is kind of a favorite of the corporate media prop up establishment Democrats. Tulsi Gabbard, I think, is just going to stay in because she just seems to be doing the opposite of everything that makes sense. So I assume she'll stay in. But I wouldn't be surprised if everyone from Booker and below get out before the first ballots are cast. And again, people are asking, are all these people still running? I thought Delaney was not running anymore. I thought Bennett wasn't running anymore. Obviously, they're not making the debates, so I don't know the answer to that, but that's sort of where I'm at. Andy Ramos says monies. Thank you. I appreciate that message. And then Andy Ramos again says more monies. Sam Dean says, "G'day, I'll dive on the grenade and keep an eye on the Trump rally." Oh, I didn't know that there was a live Trump rally. Let's actually see if we can find that. Let's go next to our caller from Trump rally. Oh, let's see what's going on. We have to see this.
Get ready for...
Oh, boy. Okay, we'll get to that in a second. Let me just say another thank you to Scott Spear. Scott Spear has signed up at joinpacman.com, but not using either coupon code. There's a Twitch 50 coupon code for people on Twitch to use to score a point for Twitch. Oh, this thing hasn't even started yet. There is a YouTube 50 coupon code for YouTube viewers to use. We have a competition going. I know it's not much of one. It's 1-to-1. We've had 3 people sign up today. One without a coupon. What is going on here?
Oh, the Palo Alto Mafia. He's landing? Nope. We got to keep going. Man.
Wow.
He is coming, and I have a special gift for you, but I cannot show you.
Okay, so things getting very, very weird there. So anyway, listen, joinpacman.com is where you sign. We get 12 more members. I'll open up the phone lines. If you're watching on YouTube, sign up with YouTube 50 to score a point for YouTube. If you're watching on Twitch, sign up with Twitch 50. Both codes save you 50%. There's no advantage to one or the other than do you want to say YouTube is better or do you want to say Twitch is better? That's all that is. So I think we've gotten that out of the way. So now we've lost the feed altogether. Let's refresh and see what's going on. Very strange things happening over here. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Okay, now it's refreshing. Yeah, who knows what's going on here? I don't know. Anyway, we'll give it a second and see if we can get back to that. I'm still live, right? It seems as though I'm live. Am I not live? Uh-oh. Looks like we're back. That was weird. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Yeah, I think there's something weird going on. I'm not sure. In any case, all right, I'll try to take a few more questions here and continue. We'll keep an eye on what's going on here. Ars Longa says, is RT Russian propaganda? Well, yeah, I mean, it's state. Propaganda doesn't have to be negative, and it certainly is propaganda in a sense. Ego Ekus says, Buttigieg has the Mondale Dukakis Edwards energy that Democrats are so good at cultivating. Yes, there is an element of that for sure. Nat Yancey says, spending my YouTube money. You're welcome. Thank you. Fave1 says, Trump tweeted today, I held back the money from Ukraine because it is considered a corrupt country. So he admitted he held up the money and it was for corruption. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. There's no question about that. JC is asking, will I debate Aaron Mate on impeachment? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm pretty busy with my own thing. Addie D says, what drummer influenced you the most? I don't know that any one drummer influenced me the most, but, I love Steve Gadd, Vinnie Colaiuta. The great John Bonham is, of course, amazing. I could go on and on and on. Neil Peart is a great drummer. Yeah, I think we're back. Let's see if this guy's back.
Okay, perfect. I'll call you guys back when she's in front of the camera.
It looks like we're seeing some kind of producer feed.
It's okay. All right.
That's weird. I don't even think they're trying to air this, and I'm rebroadcasting it. It's all very, very weird. Okay. I don't know what's going on. Tyler Shank has signed up with the code YouTube50. That's new member number 4 of the evening, and that puts YouTube ahead of Twitch 2-1. I was really thinking Twitch might be able to hold it together today and come away with a win, but YouTube still in the lead 2-1. We are waiting for Donald Trump at some rally somewhere. Let me refresh this and see if I can get the information about where this is happening. Trump holds a homecoming campaign rally in Florida, expected live at 7:10 p.m. Okay, so I guess we're 10 minutes away from the start of this very bizarre press conference. For people saying Twitch 50 didn't work, let me look at that. I think it does work. Let me see. Sign up. Twitch 50. It works. There's no space between Twitch and 50. So people want the feed volume. Yeah, I don't know that we need to really be hearing that. Yeah, Twitch 50 is working. There's just no space between the two. That's all that's going on there. Okay, let me answer a few other questions here. Craft Punk asks if I made my intro music. No, a viewer whose handle is Curtly J made our intro music. Let me see here. 21st Century Mouse says, David, be honest, was debating Creationist Cat the highlight of your career? Absolutely. Absolutely. Kane Ravenlock says, about RT, what happened to them? So much conspiracy coverage now. I haven't seen anything on RT for probably the better part of 2 years, so I shouldn't speak to what they're doing because I haven't seen it. And then Robert Williams says, because I like independent media. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. We are waiting for Donald Trump in Florida. It is probably going to be another one of these upper-laced MAGA rallies. Usually Trump at the evening rallies is pretty well, I think you guys know what I'm talking about. So we're waiting for Trump to arrive. Seems like, is this armed security? Do these guys have weapons back here? It's Florida, right? So everybody should be armed, you would think. I guess not. It looks like maybe it's maybe those are tasers or something like that. This is the guy you really want running security. In case there's an issue, this is the guy who's going to hold it down. So anyway, yeah, it looks like we're about 8 minutes away, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens there. Let me say a few other thank yous before I forget. Tan Man subscribed for 4 months at Tier 1. I appreciate that. Bad Reaction, thanks for the Twitch Prime subscription. And PQ Rocksteady, thank you for subscribing for 1 month at Tier 1. Thank you very much. Let me answer a couple of other questions. Tyler Shank saying, we are taking a weird trip to Trumpville right now. Yeah, I've never covered a Trump. It's just never happened that when I'm streaming, I'm aware of a Trump rally happening. in real time. So I'm actually curious what's going to happen. This isn't Carter Page, is it? That was weird. It sort of looked like him. Oh, don't tell me that there's a Jewish guy here. It is so, every time I see that there's a Jewish Trump supporter, I'm extra sickened because it's, one of my people. It's just so depressing. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Okay, looks like they got the main camera back here, so we should be getting started pretty soon. Fave1 saying, how do so many people turn up to these Trump rallies? The impeachment hearings exposed again how incompetent and corrupt the Trump administration is. It's a country of 340 million people. You can convince tens of millions that Trump is corrupt. You're still going to get, 8,000 to fill a third of a stadium, if that's what you want. Iragma says, free super chat, happy birthday. It is not my birthday for a while, but it's starting to get closer, so I still appreciate that. Uh-oh. Is this music they're going to get sued for? Oh dear. Anybody know what we're listening to? Is that likely an artist who hates Trump and will soon send a cease and desist, as often happens? Anybody know? Yeah, I have no idea what music that is. Let me block a few people, because there are some people who are just being absolutely toxic. So let me block a few people over on Twitch, and then also block a few people over on YouTube. Because it's just... that's Tina Turner. Okay. Very good. Yeah, it's free to ban people, and we will not hesitate to do that. Big Luna, thanks for subscribing with Twitch Prime. Stefan Rowe, thanks for subscribing for the second month in a row with Twitch Prime. I appreciate that. Nouvelle Cos asks, you often ask for audience feedback stating you're open to having your mind changed. What are recent examples of feedback markedly changing your views? So here's an example of something I recently evolved on. About 6 months ago, I was under the impression that the financial case for Medicare for All was 110% open and shut, like the math obviously works. In the last 6 months, I've seen more and more studies which say that the math could work, but most of the budgets assume that we drastically reduce healthcare spending per capita to the level of Australia and Canada, and merely switching to a single-payer system is not going to achieve that. It could take, depending on the estimates, anywhere from 8 to 20 years to make that happen. And so that is something that I have fleshed out my view on, and I have a different view today than I did 6 months ago. That's an example. Austin Bittinger says, hey, happy birthday, David, via Super Chat. Thank you. It is not my birthday, but I do appreciate that no matter what. Let's see. Oh, there's someone who is asking for a ban and calling me a Zionist shill. No problem. Glad to oblige. Let's see here. JC says, do you think The Hill is acting in good faith when they cover impeachment and the Mueller investigation? Don't know. I've not seen any of their coverage, so I would not be able to say. Thanks to Finnegan1717 for subscribing with Twitch Prime. I appreciate that very much. Question, will there be someone in the audience in this area in Trump's sightline with an antagonistic sign that they have snuck in? We can only hope, but that would be absolutely delightful. People on both Twitch and YouTube cheering that the ban hammer is coming down. Yeah, it is. It is. I've deputized moderators on both Twitch and YouTube to ban as they see appropriate, based on very specific directions that I've given. And I appreciate that that's happening. So for people asking, do I no longer support Medicare for All? No. Even if the numbers don't add up as cleanly as I believe they did 6 months ago, it can still be our best plan, and it would obviously be better than what we have. Nuance. Should I mute it because the music, we might have a copyright issue? Yeah, I'll mute it. I'll mute it for now. That's a good idea. We should be only about 4 minutes from Trump speaking, although who knows? Sean Geis asking if they're going to zoom out here to show empty seats. I don't think that they will. That's not usually the way they do it. Travis Hallman is asking if I have any concerns about Medicare for All in terms of a loss of privacy. No, because in Medicare for All, the government does not become the provider. HIPAA still would exist. The government becomes the payer. All right, let's see what's going on here. Oh, no, okay. There is no way that Led Zeppelin is okay with Donald Trump using their music. There's just no way that that is a possibility. But we're going to keep it down. Yeah, this is very reminiscent of totalitarian rallies. Thanks to Torpedo Supermarket, who is gifting subs over on Twitch like crazy. I appreciate that very, very much. People continuing to ask about opening up the phone lines. I don't know that it's going to happen. We have 4 of 15 website members. The target is 15. And then we will open up phone lines. And it's not going super well today. Joinpacman.com is the place to sign up. I will just wet your whistle with some voicemails, though. People trying to call in but failing because the voicemail is currently on. Calls are being redirected to voicemail. I might be able to play a couple of these for you before Trump speaks. Let's take a listen. Here's one example.
Yes, David. My name is Elliot from Florida, and I want you to know your observation about the president and his hospital visit. I'm going to give you some news based on my observation, taking care of 2 elderly parents with dementia, the whole 9 yards. He shows all the signs, and then I find out he's snorting Adderall.
Right.
Definitely the signs of that. This man won't see a year as far as I'm concerned. I think nature's going to take its course. That Adderall stuff will definitely screw you up. My daughter was on it. I took her off. It changes your personality.
No question about it. By the way, I'm an idiot. I recognize that was Aerosmith, not Led Zeppelin. And that's just me being old. And yes, I know Aerosmith is from Boston, and there's no way Steven Tyler supports Donald Trump. Are things happening? Because are people being asked to stand? I'm guessing that that's what they do. People probably would not naturally stand, but it seems like they're being asked to stand. Oh, okay. Let's listen to, here's a voicemail from my old stomping grounds, the 413 area code.
David, this is Clint. I just had a question for you. You talked about it several shows ago as far as legalization of drugs or decriminalization of drugs. You sort of indicated that you would be in favor of decriminalizing and legalizing some drugs but not others. And I was just curious as to what your thinking was on that.
No, so my view is that I'm for decriminalizing everything, and I'm open to being convinced about legalizing something like cocaine or heroin. I've just not yet seen a great case for that. But I want to decriminalize everything. I think obviously cannabis should be legalized recreationally, and there are others as well. Let's see. Okay. Let me do a couple thank yous. So thanks to Isle Mayoke, subscribing for Twitch Prime. And 56 Kona Dial-Up for subscribing with Twitch Prime, as well as Juris Pretentious. I appreciate that. Sam Dean over on YouTube Super Chat says, there's no way Tina Turner gave Trump permission to use her music. Does she even know? She should be furious. Can we find her? Let us tweet. I agree with that. That should be done. Oh, people are asking over on Twitch if highlighted messages can count like Twitch Super Chat. Let's do it. I like that. I like that idea. The answer is yes, they can. One of the questions is, will I be chatting with Destiny? He's chilling, doing nothing big. Not today. Oh, here's Mike Pence. Okay, and the music that they probably shouldn't be using continues. So we'll hear from Pence momentarily. Let me see what other questions have come in. There are a lot of them. Some of them more logical than others. Cherry Todd says, paying for a comment for the first time in my life so I can tell you I'm still going to watch you, even though you didn't know that song was Tina Turner. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's listen to Mike. I'll just have to delete the streams. I can't do anything. The music is just persistent. Wow. Let's just give him a second. And maybe the music will come off. No, it's not. Pence is looking robotic.
It is great to be back in the Sunshine State. Great great to be here to welcome home one of Florida's newest residents.
Yeah, to save on taxes. Loser.
But I got to tell you, folks, I'm here for one reason and one reason only.
Yes. Evangelical churches.
And that is that Florida and America need 4 more years of President Donald Trump in the
So
White
I was
House.
wondering if they were going to transition into just basically re-election at this point, and it looks like they are. Strategic placement of a black guy over Pence's left shoulder.
You know, I'm here
And
because I stand
another
with
non-white
President
woman.
Donald Trump.
Oh, sorry, I turned
When
it down.
this president stands up for American jobs and American workers, I stand with President Donald Trump. When this president stands up for faith and freedom and our armed forces, I stand with President Donald Trump.
This position is basically reserved for a black person during any Trump rally. Like this camera position. I'm sure that there's like a piece of tape on the ground, and they go, this is where we have to have a black guy standing.
We stand with President Donald Trump. You know, what began 4 years ago has grown into a movement of everyday Americans from every walk of life. Here in Florida, you believed we could be strong again.
Right.
You believed we could be prosperous again. And Florida Republicans were with us every step of the way. And not just all of you, but all your great leaders like Governor Ron DeSantis, Lieutenant Governor Jeanette Nunez, Attorney General Ashley Moody,
No one knows who these people are.
your former Attorney General, the great
Pam Bondi.
Bondi.
Totally corrupt. Kooky and corrupt.
And let's hear it for Florida's great delegation to the Congress of the United States and the United States Senate. With their support and your support, Florida said yes to President Donald Trump in 2016. And I know you're going to say yes to 4 more years when you send President Donald Trump back to the White House in 2020.
Right.
You know, there's only one way I think you can describe the last 3 years.
Yeah, I agree. Embarrassing.
It's been amazing. It's been 3 years of action. It's been 3 years of results.
I'm noticing this guy's physical appearance is unnerving.
Just getting started, Florida. It's true. I mean, think about it. This president promised to rebuild our military, restore the arsenal of democracy, and stand by our troops. And President Donald Trump, as your commander-in-chief, has done just that. And he signed the largest investment in our national defense since the days of Ronald Reagan. And with that renewed American strength, we've taken the fight to radical Islamic terrorists on our terms, on their soil. In the last year alone, American forces captured the last inch of the ISIS caliphate in Syria.
I know this is riveting, but I do want to thank Matthew Van Zylen for signing up at joinpacman.com with the code TWITCH50. That gets us 5 new members this evening, and it is tied 2-2 because one person didn't use a code. YouTube 2, Twitch 2. The battle is on.
And Conan, the hero dog, is just fine.
Oh, not again. Not again. With the dog.
You know, last weekend, Karen and I visited our military in Iraq. It was a great privilege. And we told them what all of you already know. The armed forces of the United States are the greatest force for good the world has ever known.
Some folks would question that notion.
And our troops know they have a commander-in-chief who will always have their back.
Trump has been one of the worst presidents to the military. It's truly actually stunning that they continue to fall for this nonsense.
Promised our veterans access to the real-time, world-class health care that you earned in the uniform of the United States, and President Donald Trump delivered. We reformed the VA, and Veterans Choice is now available to every veteran in America.
No one knows what that is, and it's not true.
And this president promised to secure our borders. We've made historic investments in border security. Apprehensions on our southern border are down by 70%, and we've already started to build.
You know what's funny? If apprehensions on the southern border are up, they say they're doing a better job of catching people. If apprehensions on the southern border are down, they claim it's because they're doing other things so that fewer people attempt to come through. It's one of those things where it doesn't matter what's going on. They claim that it's evidence of them doing a great job no matter what.
Oh, we're building it.
The wall's not getting built, obviously.
To appoint principled conservatives to our federal courts at every level. And President Donald Trump delivered. We've already seen this president appoint more than 160 principled conservatives to our federal courts. And they're all men and women who will uphold all the God-given liberties enshrined in our Constitution, like
That's
the freedom
true,
of religion,
and it's dangerous.
the freedom of speech, and the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms.
Truly a bad person that we're dealing with here.
And I couldn't be more proud to serve as vice president to a president who stands without apology for the sanctity of human life.
Trump was pro-choice his entire life and took the pro-life position to become the Republican nominee.
It's about our liberties. It's about our values. And it's about jobs, jobs, jobs. From the first day of our administration, President Trump has worked to revive the American economy. We cut taxes. We rolled back red tape at a historic level. We unleashed American energy, fought for free and fair trade, and America's economy is booming. It's amazing. Since Election Day 2016, 6.7 million new jobs created by businesses all across this country. Unemployment has hit a 50-year low. The stock market is soaring, and more Americans are working today than ever before in the history of this country.
More Americans. So, okay, let's explain that one. That's a good one to just, we don't care really what Penn says. Let me explain that one to you. This is a game that they play. If there's a Democratic president, they say more people than ever are out of work right now. More people out of the workforce. If there's a Republican president, they say more people than ever are in the workforce right now. Now, the reality is that as the population grows, if the ratio stays roughly even, at all times you have a record number of people working and a record number of people not working. That's called population growth. It's one of the silliest games that they play. These two guys are just a delight, you can tell.
I mean, think about it. 4 more years means more jobs. 4 more years means more judges. 4 more years means more support for our troops. And it's going to take at least 4 more years to drain that swamp.
Now he claims that's an 8-year job. At first we were told it would be done within the first year.
You know, the choice in this election couldn't be clearer, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Today we have a president who loves this country, who stands by our militaries, our workers, and our freedoms. I can tell you firsthand, he never quits. He never backs down.
You know, a lot of people in the chat on both Twitch and YouTube are saying that this is sad. It really is sad. I mean, it's sad that so many people in this country are this pliable that they fall for this stuff. It truly is sad.
I mean, today's Democratic Party has been taken over by radical leftists who want higher taxes, open borders, late-term abortions, and socialist policies that would crush.
Nobody wants late-term abortions. It's ridiculous.
And worst of all, these do-nothing Democrats have spent the last 3 years on endless investigations, trying to overturn the will of the American people. They're back at it again. You know, I think the Democrats are running down this president because they know they can't run against this president.
They're radical in that they want everyone to have health care.
They can't run against his record. They can't run against our results. They're pushing their partisan impeachment because they know they can't stop you from giving President Donald Trump 4 more years in the White House.
Yeah, via Super Chat, I was asked whether I think Pence believes the stuff he's saying. I actually don't think he does. I think deep down Trump thinks that I believe deep down Pence thinks Trump is a disaster, but for different reasons than you and I do. I think Pence doesn't like Trump because he knows Trump's not really a religious nut like Pence. Let me say thanks to Nicole Emmerich for signing up with the coupon code YouTube50, and also Manuel Aranda for signing up without any of these coupon codes. We have 7 of 15 website members, and YouTube has taken the lead now 3-2.
Keep bringing your enthusiasm. Keep voicing your support. Keep telling your friends and neighbors that America needs 4 more years of President Donald Trump in the White House, and we will get this done in November of 2020. We got work to do. It's going to take all of us to do it, but I know we're going to get it done because I have faith. Faith in this president.
That's weird.
My friend, whose drive and vision I see every day, whose drive and vision have made America great again. Faith in all of you and all of our fellow Americans who know we can make America greater than ever before. And lastly, I have faith in that he who's blessed this nation every day.
Oh, dear.
Since that.
Oh, there's a woman with a Jesus shirt putting her hand up.
Will yet bless this one nation under God
Imagine talking
beyond
to her.
all that we could ask or imagine as we put our trust in him.
Beautiful.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming out today. I can tell you, President Donald Trump is the real deal.
Believe me.
He's a man who says what he means and means what he says.
Oh, they're zooming out so you can see a whole row of black people that they've crowbarred into the rally.
And I know that with your continued support, with our strong allies from your state house to the nation's capital, with President Donald Trump in the White House for 4 more years, and with God's help,
yeah,
we're going to keep on winning. We're going to deliver a great future for the American people. And together with this man, we will keep America great. So now it's my high honor
Kaga.
and distinct privilege to introduce to you my friend and the 45th President of the United States of America, President Donald Trump.
And I'm proud to be an American.
Oh God. Wow, let's turn that down for a little bit. Yeah, I haven't actually watched an entire one of these in total, and it is really depressing for what it says about the United States. I mean, it really, really is depressing. It is shocking, and look at this guy. Yeah, I'm sort of at a loss for words because it's all so odd and sad. I mean, it's Latinos for Trump, blacks for Trump. It's all just, look at all these kids. They've been totally brainwashed. It's unbelievable. This woman seems completely taken with Trump, which is scary. And Trump's giving out hats. Question via 2,500 Icelandic kroner. I don't know what I'm going to do with my spare time when Trump was impeached. Maybe go back to watching Big Bang Theory. Yeah, no, it's whenever he leaves, it's going to be a big change for all of us. Chris Lopez is asking how many people were paid to be there. Let me say thanks to Perturabo08 for subscribing with Twitch Prime. I very much appreciate that. They're doing the handshake. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Does Pence leave or just stand back there? I guess he leaves. He's probably sick of this nonsense. Wow. Yep, there it is. Oh, and it's still going, yeah. This is so crazy. This is just I've not watched an entire one of these, and it is really sickening. I mean, I don't know how reporters that have to travel around and go to a bunch of these do it. I guess you get desensitized to it like anything else. I don't know, but it's really, really bad. More pointing at people. Yeah, when Trump was throwing out the hats, it's funny that Lazarus mentioned this on to Twitch chat. I was reminded of when Trump went to Puerto Rico after a hurricane and started shooting paper towel rolls at people like it was a game, like they were having a good time. Which will he mention first, crowd size, polling, or the witch hunt?
Thank you very much, and thank you to Vice President Mike Pence. He's doing a fantastic job. And thank you to the great state of Florida. Thank you. Thank you. So less than 1 year from now, I will join voters across the Sunshine State, my home.
Imagine that.
As we head to the polls, and together we will win back the House, we will hold the Senate, and we will keep that beautiful, beautiful White House. We will keep it.
I have the audio maxed out, by the way. I can't do any more for you.
Stock market, you saw that, right? The stock market just hit another all-time in history high, meaning 401ks and
does nothing for most of the people in that crowd, I'm sure.
Everybody's getting rich, and I'm working my ass off. That I can tell you.
Oh, I like Florida. I love
Before
Miami
you leave
in particular.
the arena, make sure that you register to vote. We can't take any chances. We're doing great in Florida.
Yeah.
As you know, you have a great governor. We're very happy with Ron. He's doing a fantastic job. But make sure you register to vote. As we gather together for Thanksgiving, you know, some people want to change the name Thanksgiving. They don't want to use the term Thanksgiving.
Who's that?
And that was true also with Christmas, but now everybody's using Christmas again. Remember I said
Who wanted to change the name of Christmas? I want to say, somebody please tell me, who wanted to change the name of
do a
Christmas?
little work on Thanksgiving. People have different ideas why it shouldn't be called Thanksgiving, but everybody in this room I know loves the name Thanksgiving, and we're not changing it.
Oh my God.
But Americans have so much to be thankful for. The economy is booming, wages are rising, crime is falling, poverty is plummeting, confidence is soaring, and America is stronger than ever before.
It's true, he says. I like how he clarifies. Actually true.
We've created 6.7 million new jobs, including 600,000 jobs right here in the great state of Florida. We're protecting American workers, taking care of our amazing veterans. By the way, you know the veterans, for years and years and years, I was like you, I was a civilian, I loved my life.
I would lie about donating to them. I wasn't the president.
It was so nice and soft and easy. You build a building and you have fun. But I'd always see, you turn on the news, you read in the paper about our veterans being mistreated.
By you.
They were doing such a poor job. You don't hear that anymore, do you? You don't hear it anymore. Our veterans, for the first time, are taken care of to a level.
Can you imagine being so delusional that you believe that? Can you really imagine? Wow, this girl is going nuts.
And maybe most importantly right now, with the world the way it is, we are rebuilding the awesome power of the United States military.
He is starting to slur again. People are noticing that. He is. His S's are starting to become a little bit shifty.
$2.5 trillion, and everything is made right here in the USA. That's good. We make the greatest equipment in the world. And a few weeks ago, U.S. Special Forces brought the world's #1 terrorist to justice. The bloodthirsty savage known as al-Baghdadi is dead.
Bloodthirsty savage. Someone's telling me that at the beginning Trump said Vice President Fench, but I didn't hear that.
And just this week, I stuck up for 3 great warriors against the deep state.
Oh my goodness, he's doing conspiracy. He believes that by pardoning war criminals, he's fighting the deep state.
I had so many people say, sir, I don't think you should do that. People have to be able to fight. These are great warriors. They can't think, gee whiz, if I make a mistake, do I go for do that? I mean, you know what they were doing? They wanted to put him in jail for 25 years. One young man was in jail for 7 years. He had 16 more years to go. And I want to tell you, when you look at what they did to that man, you would have been very proud at what we ended up doing. He came out. He hugged his parents. It was a beautiful thing.
Even murderers hug their parents if they get out of prison early.